So we have our two exteriors and our two linings. I'm going to pull the exteriors so that they're right side together. Now I like to just clip the two pieces together. It doesn't have to be particularly carefully, but it keeps them out of the way, and you know then you're working with the right pieces. Take your lining panels and match up the bottom two corners. And it's really important that you match these carefully. You will need clips. I'm just going to grab some more out of my drawer. I seem to have a lot of big ones. So I'm going to clip up the sides. When I get to this top part where the lining and the exterior meet, I'm going to push that. Now I've got the zipper tab side here, so I'm pushing the zipper tab towards the exterior, and I'm going to kind of pull those pieces apart. So you've got almost, you can kind of see there, I'm pulling them apart. Now the tops of the lining should have a slight fold to them where you've done your seam. So you're going to keep those folds in place, and you're going to clip together that fold. Now I like to put a clip on these corners on the exterior as well, just to kind of give me something to hold on to them. So I fold those over and pop a clip on them, so you can see that they're kind of clipped out of the way. And now I'm going to clip those folded edges of my lining. It's worth just paying a little bit of attention to do that carefully. So I think you can see now the lining is actually clipped together, and then you've got this little bit of exterior that's just got a clip on it, which kind of keeps it out of the way. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. It's not quite so challenging on the other side because you don't have the zipper tab there. The zipper tab just kind of makes it stiffer, not quite so easy to manipulate. So I'm going to pop those corners together, and I'm doing the same with the exterior fabrics, in so much as I'm just moving. You can see I've just literally, if I just open that up, you can see that there's the edges of both of them. I'm going to pop another clip in the middle there as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to now stitch all the way down from here, all the way along the bottom, and all the way up the other side. Now what we need to do is I use that clip that I put on the corner of my exterior fabrics to kind of bend the exterior fabric out of the way, so that I can get to the lining fabric. There is only a smallish gap, but I don't want to stitch through my exterior fabric. I only want to stitch through, I need to just move that off there now because it's in the way. I only want to stitch through my lining fabrics. Ideally wants to try and keep that fold that's on the top of those lining fabrics on both sides. That needs to stay folded. And we're just going to stitch that at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Coming up the last side. And I'm just using my awl, I think you can see that there, to hold those folds down so that my foot doesn't catch on them, and actually open the folds up as they go, as I stitch across them, because that does happen sometimes. And you kind of don't want to get your finger in there, it's a bit of a tight squeeze. So I think you can probably see that the folds are still there on both sides, and I've stitched all the way around the outside, and that's all good. So I'm just going to trim off the seam allowance down to about half. When I say down to about half, it's only a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you're just going to be taking out about 1/8 of an inch. It's just enough to stop the lining from showing on the outside of your purse. So it is just a slither, not too much. Now I'm just going to go and grab a cup of tea, and then I will be back to you to show you how to do the last and final bit of construction.